or welcome back to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for those who watched my previous YouTube channel and those who engaged with my previous YouTube channel. I am super grateful for that, and yeah, let's get into it. So today I'm going to talk about a topic that everyone has encountered. It's all about friendship. So we're going to get into the intricacies of friendship, the complexities, the importance of friendship, and how to navigate friendship breakups. Yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to start off with defining what a friendship is. Friendship is when there is a relationship, a platonic relationship, where there's mutual trust and a sense of camaraderie between two people. So at first, I would say when I'm considering making friends, or what I would encourage people to consider when they're making friends, is to initially consider if you're compatible. Is there a sense of we understand each other? Now, that doesn't mean that you cannot make friends with people who are not similar to you in most ways, but for a sustainable friendship, it's important to be compatible, even in terms of your values. Make sure at least you have similar values, maybe not all of them, but at least majority of them, because that allows you to feel that you understand this person as you're navigating the friendship, as you're going through the friendship. Yeah, it's also important to consider if there is space to be vulnerable with each other without feeling like there's a sense of this person is judging me. Now, there's a big difference between judgment and valuable advice. Like, you can advise me without making me feel like you're judging me, like you're like pointing fingers. And that means sometimes you need to keep your own opinions to yourself, even if maybe whatever your friend might be up to is not necessarily what you would advocate for, but you just advise them in a loving way and show up for them, and always remind them that regardless of the outcome, you will always be a friend to them. Now, that doesn't mean that you sacrifice yourself and you do whatever to sustain the friendship. That's why there has to be a sense of both of you are interested in pursuing that friendship. That's another thing. You have to be in a headspace and heart space and soul space to pursue that friendship, and it's mutual. Like, you're not, it's not like you're trying to date the person. It's not like you're pursuing one is trying to pursue the other. That's not going to sustain a friendship. A friendship is sustainable when both of you are reaching out to each other, when both of you show a sense of care for each other, when both of you are doing their best to show up for the other in the best way that they can, right? Yeah, so those are some of the factors I would say are important when you're trying to consider making friends. Yes, just to add on that, I think these two might be quite similar. So when there's room for vulnerability, then it means there's a sense of genuineness. Like, genuineness. I don't feel like whenever I'm around you, I have to try to be something that I'm not, or I have to try and be like you, or I have to try and do things the way you do, think the way you think, in order for me to sustain this friendship. If that's the case, it means that this was doomed from the get-go, from the moment the friendship started. And that's just the reality, because most of the friendships that started off like that, are you really still in those friendships? Tell me the truth. Comment down below, let me know. Are you still in such kind of friendships? Most likely you're not. Yeah, most likely you're not, and that's okay. So when it comes to friendship, I would say friendship is not a one size fits all. you might have friendships with at different levels. So you have people who are in your inner circle. Those are friends who you share what you're going through in life, whether the ups and downs, without a sense of feeling ashamed or without a sense of thinking twice whether they're going to show up for you or not. So those are your inner circle friends who you are vulnerable with, you do life together with, and hopefully you have been working together for a long time. So they've known you through the different seasons of life that you've experienced through the years, and they know you for you. So you also have a different tier of friends where you have like your outer circle. That's after the inner circle. So your outer circle of friends are friends who maybe you don't really share the inner details of your life immediately. Maybe with time, maybe after you've overcome whatever low season that you're experiencing, or whatever turmoil that you might be experiencing in life. But at some point you will let them know, because you check in on each other, but that's after a long period of time. It could be months. I think if you're checking in on each other after a year, y'all are not real friends. Maybe you're people who know each other, but you're not really friends. But if it's after a couple of months, and whenever you come back to making conversation with each other, and whenever you check in with each other, there's a sense of you're even happy to hear from this person. You feel that genuinely they want to catch up and get to know where you're at and what's going on with your life. Yeah, so that is the outer circle level of friendship. Okay, and then I would categorize another outer level of friendship as acquaintances. So these are people you know. So maybe you met each other through maybe school, or through work, or through functions, and then you connected. Like, there are people who you meet on the first day and you get along so well, and then you exchange socials like your Instagram or your Snap or whatever, and then maybe all you guys do is send memes every other day, but you don't actually engage with each other. And you're not really convicted to get to know them in that personal way. But if there's maybe something that you need support on, or maybe they are really good at something, maybe they work in tech or something, and then you have a tech issue, and you know that okay, you can actually reach out to them, then those are your acquaintances. So those are the three levels that I would classify friendship under, especially when it comes to my life. Yeah. So I would like to elaborate the importance of having friends in your life, the importance of friendship. What value does friendship bring into my life? Do I actually really need to have friends, or I can just do this life thing solo, riding solo and fly high in the sky? No, I don't think you can. Maybe in your life you've been able to do that, but how far have you done it? I think sometimes we might demean the importance of friendship, especially if we haven't had that good encounter when it comes to our past friendships. Maybe someone betrayed you or something of that sort. But don't let that be the thing that holds you back from making friends, from continuing to make friends, because that will hold you back on so much value that friendship brings in your life. So the first thing that I would say friendship brings in your life is a sense of community and a sense of support. So whenever you have a crisis that you're experiencing in your life, you know that okay, I have this 1, 2, 3, 4 friends that I can always call and let them know. It helps you to even overcome the shock that you experience in whatever crisis that you're experiencing. And friendship just brings a sense of community. I feel like just like how when you have a supportive family, you experience a sense of community, a sense of they're there for you, they're there to support you, they're there to empower you, they're there to hold you up, remind you about the good things that you still have to offer, even if whatever you're experiencing is making you doubt yourself, or making you feel like, am I going to really come out of this the same person as I was? How am I going to come out of this? Am I going to come out better, or how am I going to power through this? So friendship helps you to power through the challenging moments. For instance, you might be going through a season of grief or something of the sort, and let's say the funeral has ended, and then you're left to live your life, and as you're mourning the passing of this person, especially if they were someone who was very, very, very an integral part of your life. And then the friends are the ones, the genuine friends, the friends who care about you, are the ones who are going to be cooking food for you, bringing food to you. They're going to be inviting you out for dinners, even just to chill with them, go for a drive, go for a trip. They're going to come to your place. Maybe you're having a hard time even cleaning your house or something, and then they'll ask you, do you need any help? Is there any way that I can show up for you? So that is what I mean by friendship does bring a sense of support, a sense of community. And even in the few moments that you laugh together, it helps to relieve that sense of grief that you might be experiencing, and you feel that, okay, I'm not alone in this, and you don't end up spiraling as much as you would if you didn't feel like you had anyone to rely on. Yeah. So another thing is that you learn through friendship, you learn from each other, especially in the inner circle of friends. You learn a lot from each other. You gain a lot from each other. You want to edify each other, you want to inspire each other, you want to motivate each other and you just want to see your friend soaring higher, doing better. And there's nothing as beautiful as looking back at a friendship that has been there for like 5 years, 10 years or more, and seeing the growth that the friendship has brought in each of your lives. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's a blessing. I feel like friendship is a blessing from God. God knew we needed friends. God knew we could not live alone, especially when we grow up and we maybe move away from our families. We need friends even in that situation. Yes, you're still in contact with your family and whatnot, and your family could also be your friends. But friendship has this way of helping you navigate life, especially as you're growing up, as you're being an adult, as you're going through different phases of your own life. Okay. So friendship is also a way that you can create fun memories and bring joy into your life. As I've said, there are moments when you might be so busy in your day-to-day routine and schedule, and you've done the self-care and whatnot, but you still feel a bit low, a bit mellow. It's important to reach out to your friend in that situation. Maybe you guys can go for a dinner or something, or you can visit each other, whoever is available to go to the other person, and you can have a conversation. Sometimes you might be mellow, and it's not even because you're going through something difficult. It's just that you miss that aspect of community, that aspect of being able to have a meal together, being able to laugh together, being able to joke about something, remember something that maybe you experienced together. Just catch up, be like, oh, how was your day? It was boring, and yours was boring too. And yeah, it's and at the end of you guys rekindling, you feel so much lighter, you feel so much more, you know, gratitude that you have that blessing of having friends that you can always catch up with, always have fun memories that add joy in your life. Okay. So I find that friendship is important in that you can be of service to each other. In this day and age, there's more individuality, and we can't really blame ourselves. It's just how life is kind of structuring, because in the past, we used to have a sense of community. There was always a sense of community. It's rarely that you found yourself living alone or something like that, because in the past there was like different seasons, different seasons of life. And when you are growing up and maybe you move away from your family, then you will at some point find yourself alone. And in that situation, you need to find friends. You need to find friends, because when I talk about being of service to each other, I mean, the beauty of friendship is that we are all going through different things in our lives, and someone could be in a different season of their life. Someone could be moving to a different city or something, and in that situation you could help that person pack up and tag along with them, help them transition into the new city. That's if you have the time to do that. You could also be of service to someone who maybe is a new mom, and you can ask them how you can be of service to them and support them and help to relieve some of the stressors that come with being a new mom. Or you can just be of service to your friend by cooking something for them. You know, maybe you're good at cooking beef stew and so you make stew for your friends whenever you visit them, because especially if they enjoy it. If they don't enjoy it, don't try that. No. It's trash. Yeah, like there's so many ways of being of service to your friend. Maybe your friend had is sick or something, and then they need to be off work for a few days. So in that situation, you can be of service to your friend by making them a meal that they would enjoy in that situation where they are sick, and that will add some joy into their life. Yeah, so being of service varies. There are different ways you can be of service to your friend, so it's not just one way, and it also depends on what your friend needs in that season of their life. I also feel like friendship can serve as a reflection of yourself. Sometimes we have a lot of blame game that we play when it comes to friendships. Maybe your friend has done something that you don't like, and instead of communicating that in a healthy and calm and relaxed way, so that the other person does not misinterpret what you're trying to tell them, we hold a grudge against this person. And if you do that the first time, you'll do it a second time, you'll do it at that time, and then by the time you're actually coming to talk to this friend of yours and tell them, by the way, I don't like the way you do this and this and this, the way it comes out is it's in a nasty way. It's in a way that your friend will not receive it in the best way. And of course that will cause a rift in your friendship. So I feel like it's important to see friendship as a reflection of yourself. Are you showing up in a way that you're happy to be showing up in? Are you showing up in a selfish way? Maybe you're not the kind of friend who helps out as much. I understand helping out like once in a while, and I also understand that people are busy. People are busy. Let's just be honest. Like, people are busy. They cannot show up for you all the time, but at least once or twice, you know, if 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 you don't show up for me at least once or twice, then I won't really consider you as my friend. I don't consider that as a friendship. So I'm talking about friendship, especially on the inner circle, where you interact often, where you care genuinely about each other. So in that situation, you can learn about yourself. It's a reflection of where you're at. You can learn. Maybe you need to to work on your selfishness, or you need to work on your insecurities. Maybe you have some insecurities that keep showing up in the way that you show up in your friendship. Maybe you feel like a sense of inferiority, an inferiority complex. So in that situation, you need to work on that in order for the friendship to thrive, in order for the friendship to grow, in order for the friendship to be sustained over time. Yeah. So another point is that friendship keeps us accountable. Maybe you have a goal or a vision that you have for a set period of time. For instance, a good example is everybody, or most people, when 2025 started, they made a list of this is what I'm going to achieve in 2025. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back to school. Like, they're different. They're different goals that everybody has. I feel that you can use friendship to keep you accountable by letting your friend know, okay, these are my intentions, but I struggle with this and this and this. I struggle with showing up in this and this and this way, keeping up with these particular things. Can you be my accountability partner? Where you check in monthly, or you check in every quarter of the year, or you check in every 2 weeks. It depends on what you and your friend decide, right? So yeah, you can use friendship to stay accountable to your dreams, goals, and aspirations. And it's so fun when both of you are able to be accountability partners. Like, I'm accountable for you and you're accountable for me, and I don't catch you slipping. Okay? And I don't give excuses for you. Like, I'm really strict with you when it comes to achieving your goals. I have to be strict with you, because when it comes to friendship, you might feel like you don't really want to put too much pressure on the friendship, so you don't want to remind them. But that's not good. That's not you being a good friend, especially if you're in the inner circle. I want to see you win. I want to see you thrive. So I have to keep you accountable. But there has to be a candid conversation that you guys have, so that there's never any bad blood. Because sometimes some people, when you try to be the accountability partner, they they don't like being reminded that, okay, you're actually sleeping. You're not showing up the way you had wanted to show up, and that's kind of delaying you achieving your goals. And yeah, I want to see you win. So in that situation, you guys need to have a candid conversation where it's like, if one of your friends tends to catch feelings, like they tend to get irritated or agitated quickly when they are called out on them not showing up, then you'll need to have a conversation about that, so that you don't misunderstand each other, and so that you accord each other grace on both ends, right? and so that you don't end up hurting each other's feelings and whatnot. Yeah, so that's that. So when it comes to friendship, we need to understand that friendship has different seasons. Like, we go through different seasons in life. And that's the beauty of friendship. We are never really going through the same thing together, especially as we are growing older. Maybe in high school, maybe if you met in high school, you guys were in the same school, you were in the same clubs, you had similar interests, you were the same age, and you were constantly together, especially if you're in like a boarding school. But once high school ends and you go to uni, life is different, right? You might hear your friend traveled, went to study abroad, or you might hear that your friend got married, or you might hear that your friend is in uni. And yeah, that's just the beauty of friendship. And we need to understand that everyone experiences different seasons in life. And in that situation, the most important thing is to be open with your friend. Tell them that, hey, I'm not in the best place to show up as much as I've been showing up in this season of my life. I'm going through 1, 2, 3. But I need you to be patient with me. And accord me grace, so that once I am out of this season, or once I'm in a better place, I'm in a much more stable place to show up genuinely as I've been showing up in the past, then you will welcome me with open arms, right? And that allows the other person to understand you. Because if you suddenly ghost the other friend, they won't understand you. They'll actually feel like you don't want to be friends with them anymore, especially if you have been in the inner circle of friends, and you'll be like, what's going on? I don't understand what's going on. But that's why it's important to have candid conversations. Just be honest, be real, be vulnerable. As I said, that's one of the reasons why you need to be vulnerable when you're making friends, because regardless of what you go through, you will not feel some type of way when it comes to letting them know that, hey, I'm not able to show up this season, I'm going through this and this. And yeah, you will accord each other grace, right? Because even the other friend might go through a similar thing. And yeah, I find that being able to communicate and tell each other what you're going through genuinely and honestly allows the friendship it gives the room for the friendship to be sustained through the years, through the seasons, through the many ups and downs that both of you might experience. And yeah, this is in regard to genuine friendship, right? Yeah. So understand that there's the concept of seasons, and that it's important to have candid conversations so that you can accord each other grace, and so that the friendship can continue to prevail time. Yeah, that's the word. So what do you do when a friendship breakup happens? Now let me tell you, I don't know about guys, but when it comes to girls, friendship is it's such a dear thing to us. The moment I think maybe it's because there's emotions involved. There's emotions involved, yeah. So when a friendship breakup happens, it's such a painful thing. It's such a painful thing to experience, especially when you didn't expect it. Like, it just happened out of the blue, and especially when one of the friends is caught off guard, that's such a painful thing to navigate. So how do you navigate that? How do you come out of that situation without resentment, without being affected, without it affecting you being able to make friends in the future without it affecting your current friendship, your perception of friendship. So in that situation, you need to revisit the friendship. So it has ended, right? Revisit the encounters that you've had, as many as you can. Not together. I'm talking about you on your own. Maybe together we can have that conversation another day, but when it's you on your own and you're trying to move on from that breakup with that friend, especially if they were such an integral part of your life, you need to revisit the encounters that you've had with this friend, the moments that you've had with this friend, especially the low moments that you've had. You need to assess, were you actually genuinely friends, or one of you was actually the one who was pursuing the friendship? 2, were you vulnerable in this friendship? Did you feel like you could actually be vulnerable, or it was a situation where you only interact with each other when good things are happening, but when it comes to bad things, it's like you ghost them, or you ghost each other, or you don't feel comfortable enough to genuinely let this person know, this is what I'm going through, and you feel like maybe they will judge you some type of way. The moment you feel like you cannot genuinely open up to this person, I feel like that's a sign to just tell you, this person is not in your inner circle. Maybe they're in your outer circle, maybe they're in your acquaintance group of friends, but you don't need to be as affected, right? So in this situation, you have assessed your encounters, especially the negative encounters that would have led to the friendship breakup, right? You have assessed, were you genuine? Were you vulnerable? Was there space to be your genuine selves? Were you growing? Were you challenging each other? Were you really friends? Or maybe you were seasonal friends, you know? So if you realize that, first of all, this person came into your life in a season where you needed friendship. Like, sometimes God will bring a friend in your life because he's like, this person needs a friend. They need a comrade, okay? Because as I said, friendship, especially genuine friendship, brings a lot of joy, a lot of community and support in our lives, right? So in that situation, you need to understand it might have been for a season, and because it was for a season, it has served the season, and that's why it has come to an end. That's why you don't talk as often, you don't reach out as often, and even if you do, it's not it's done. Like, the friendship is done. As much as you try and reach out on both ends, it's done. Like, none of you are really invested in trying to rekindle and revive the friendship. So what's done is done. Let it go. And I appreciate that that friendship was there to serve a season in your life where you needed friendship. And I find what really helps me move on from a friendship breakup when I experience it is that I choose not to focus on the negative. Please don't focus too much on the negative, because that's when now you start the blame game. You start being all like, it's good that the friendship ended. I'm happy that, first of all, when you're in that situation and you're trying to justify that, oh, it's good that the friendship ended, it's not for me anymore, you negate all the good memories that you've made with each other. You negate the value that this person added in that season of your life. You negate the beauty of the friendship that you once had with this person. You also invalidate this person. This person is a human being just like you, and you're trying to navigate this life. They're also trying to navigate this life. So in order to move on from that breakup, friendship breakup, genuinely, you have to remember the good moments that you had with each other. You have to hold that space for them. Even though you're not going to be friends anymore, you have to understand that the season has come to an end. You also need to understand that sometimes you might be friends with each other, and then as you get to learn each other, you realize that you don't have similar values. You realize that you're not as compatible as you thought you were. You realize that maybe you are friends for a time when you needed each other. Like sometimes you're friends with someone because you genuinely need friendship. And now that the time where you needed that friendship has come to an end, you need to accept that you actually don't have anything in common, and you don't have values. And it's so important to have similar values, so that you don't have a situation where one is trying to be more of the other, because that results in sacrificing your own self in the name of I'm trying to be friends with this person, and it builds a sense of resentment long term, and that's not fair to you, and that's not fair to the other person. Release each other so that you can create room for new friendships, and friendships with people who you are compatible, who you share similar values, and who you will create even more memories with each other. But all in all, this is just to say that a friendship breakup doesn't have to be negative. Even if the person did something really nasty to you, it doesn't have to be negative. I find that the reason why I wanted to speak on this is because when you negate and hold on to the negative memories that came out of the breakup, the friendship breakup, you're going to be so miserable. First of all, it steals your joy, it steals your peace, it makes you feel so heavy, it affects you negatively, especially if you're someone who is easily affected by your emotions. Maybe for those people who are able to compartmentalize, good for y'all. Okay. I'm talking to the people who it's important for them to process each season that they're experiencing and each moment in their life, and to let go of what doesn't serve them, and to make room for what is going to serve them in the next season, right? So yeah, there's no need to carry that heaviness with you. There's no need to carry that that hatred in you. It just makes you not even want to make friends anymore. It makes you reserved. It makes you retreat to your own self. And as I said, you need friends. You need friends. You need community. You need those joyful moments that you have with each other. You need each other, right? Because friendship is a good thing, especially genuine friendship. It adds a lot of beauty to your life. So yeah, think about it. Think about how you can let go of that friend who you're no longer friends anymore, and you've been holding on to, and you've been thinking about, oh, they did this to me, they did that to me. Also consider, what did you do? We think we are saints, but we are not. We're not saints. Let's just be real with each other. We're not saints, and that's okay. Because you can always learn, you can always improve, you can always become a better version of yourself. But that will only happen when you reflect on your past mistakes and your past shortcomings, right? So I'm going to finish off this video with talking about how challenging it is to make friends as a grown-up. And I was reflecting on this concept and I was like, why is it so challenging? Why is it so hard to make friends right now? First of all, when we were kids, we didn't really have a lot of responsibilities. We didn't really have a lot going on for ourselves. We weren't thinking about our 10-year life plan and what we need to be doing in 2050 and whatever. We were busy just being kids, and we were open, to be friends with the neighborhood person, and we also put in institutions like school where it's a lot easier to make friends, to meet friends. I find that when you stay open to the possibility of making friends, it leaves room to making friends, right? It leaves room for your heart is open, you're not closed off. So let's say you go for a function, a wedding, or you visit a friend and maybe they have a party or something, then you'll be more open to make friends in that situation, because you already in you have welcomed the possibility of making a friend, unlike in a situation where you are closed off. But I also understand that past friendship hurts can be a contributing factor to you feeling like, oh, now that I'm a grown-up, I can't trust nobody. But as I said, in this life, it's tough when you're trying to do it alone. I encourage you not to try and do it alone. I encourage you to stay open to the possibility of friendships, but also use your own discernment. Be wise while you're navigating that. But I feel like when you consider the aspects that I mentioned at the start of the video, where you consider the compatibility aspect, the room to be vulnerable with each other, the genuinity, the ability to grow through the friendship, and to share values, like I feel like those aspects will be such a good thing to consider when you're making friends, and they will help you navigate that situation a lot better. And of course, like, praying about it when it comes to God, so that he may lead you to the friends that will be genuine for you, and so that he may help you to have an open heart, and so that he may bring friends that are meant to be in your life. Above all else, remember to pray to God so that he can bring the friends in your life that you're going to edify each other. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, remember to comment down below, share what your experience when it comes to friendship has been like, and how you navigate friendship in a way that allows you to still thrive and still be yourself, and still grow and make genuine friendships that have the possibility of being lifelong friendships. Yeah, so thank you so much, and be sure to tune into the next video. Until next time, bye bye.